Hey guys, back for another one. McKinnen Monday. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Still looking for English high school teachers out there. Take a gander and take a read. So now we're on chapter 7. Molly's finally got a chance to visit Grandpa. Grandpa's giving her information. I'm going to start there. Again, McKinnen Mondays. You can search it up through Dr. Melvin Johnson. It'll show up. It'll pull up for you. So here we go. I asked him, wait, what do you mean? How do you know I'm looking for something? He responds, Molly, I don't talk much because I have learned that the more you listen, the more you learn. When you talk, you don't hear or see as much as if you're quiet. I had to talk less when I was younger in order to avoid the people who kept coming after me countless times. I couldn't avoid all the confrontations, but it saved me more often than it didn't. So in this case, this is her big brother Mark talking to her. He's giving her information before she goes to pursue Grandpa to find out more information. The more she's learning, the more her siblings are chiming in to assist her and give her the support that she needs to go on this journey. And she's definitely going on this journey alone because one of her brother Mark kind of stays out of the way. He's more the observant type. And that's what we're going to discuss today. Being observant, paying attention to things, listening and learning through being still, being quiet, being at peace. So the first thing, why do some of us ignore spending time with our elders? We'll start with that. Because in this chapter, Molly starts to spend time with her grandpa. I think it's important to spend time with your elders, parents, uncles, whoever's had longer time on this earth than you have. They have a certain knowledge and they can give you certain things that'll help you push forward and teach you lessons that you don't necessarily have to go through if you're listening and paying close attention to them. Now, sometimes I understand you got to feel that the fire is hot in order for you to learn, and that happens to most of us. I also think that spending time with those before you, you learn more about yourself. You learn more about your parents, and then kind of figure out, oh, that's where I got this from. Okay, this is where this came from. You can pick up on all of those things. And plus, I think it's good to be around those older than you, just to hear them talk. It helps you to learn how to listen. That's one thing that growing up, because when I was growing up, the tradition was you don't talk when grown folks are talking. And I know some of you guys out there know what that means. I didn't. I would just listen and watch and learn and figure out things and connect the dots as we move along, as my parents would say certain things after something had happened or after we had family visits, and you kind of hear about family dramas on the ride home. You kind of listen, and if you missed the information, you have to kind of wait for it to come back around, and you pick up on that, and it allows you to be more observant, and it helps you with listening skills, focus, all those different things. I also think it kind of gives you those good habits in class and in studies and things of that nature. So for me, I used those skills and picked up on those skills rather than asking questions because I wasn't allowed to. I waited for the answers to come while listening. Nowadays, kids have so much access to so many things, and they're allowed so much carte blanche, if you will. Though some of those skills are missing. They're just missing, and it's unfortunate. But there's still some kids out there who pick up on it and are very good listeners and are focused. So that leads to my next thing, which is listening. It provides more information for yourself than talking does. I tell my students all the time, listening is probably the best weapon that you have. If you're listening, you're paying very, very close attention to something, you could retain information, you gain skills, you learn, they say that knowledge is power. You earn that through listening and watching in most cases. But despite the fact that we have 2 eyes and 2 ears, and we know the saying behind that you have 2 of those because it's better for you to listen or to see, and you got 1 mouth, and the kids love to talk and run their mouth. And what I tell students is When you go to school, you want to collect as much data as you can. You collect it through your eyes and your ears. Your mouth does not collect anything but food. When you are talking, you are not collecting anything. You are releasing information. And if you don't have much information, you don't have much to release. So it's important to listen and collect as much information as you can and keep the one tool closed and keep the other 4 tools, your 2 eyes, your 2 ears open, because it's going to help you advance. If you just pay attention, listen, watch, find out ways to do things by watching and listening at the same time while the teacher is teaching and showing you the methods and the steps in whatever craft or subject that you're learning, and you grow from there, you know. And even in situations, you kind of learn and listen through what you see. You hear people say certain things, you hear a person talk about one person, you see somebody do something. You're all not only hearing the words that the person is saying, you're also looking at the actions, and you compare the two and you say, okay, what am I seeing here? Do they match? Do they not match? How can I make my decision by listening to the words and also seeing the actions that are coming about? That's very important. That leads to my next topic, which is pattern. You listen and you watch. Some people say things that they say whatever they can to manipulate and get things across, but their actions always say something different. That's going to tell you that the pattern is more reliant on the action, because the action lasts longer than the words do. The words fade quickly. The actions make it more of a permanent stamp. So it's always important to look at those things. And if you look at society now and you look at where we are and the words of the birth of America and liberty and justice for all, but we see the action, and the action for some reason or another says something different. That lets you know right there that the actions are probably more important than the words, because the words are saying liberty and justice for all, but all are not getting liberty and justice. And you can see that in the numbers and the statistics and the actions through video. You see it in the actions through video. You got so many comparison videos where things are happening in one way and you look at the other extreme and nothing happens, and they do the same things, right? So without getting into too much detail, because of the sake of time, it's something we can get into a lot later, but those things are very important. And then the last thing here is when you observe things, it'll kind of answer your questions better than you can ask them. You know, sometimes you'll have a question, but if you use your patience and you observe the patterns and you collect all the information, you use all the skills that we just talked about, looking and listening, comparing the actions with the words, watching the patterns on how those two transpire, understanding a person a little better by just doing that. Sometimes you don't even have to ask the question, because they're going to answer it for you if you're patient enough and you wait on it. And Molly is learning to do that because her brother is teaching her. Because her brother, if you guys remember in the story, Mark is off to the side, off to the background, the quiet one that doesn't really talk much, very intelligent and does his own thing. You start to see that, you know, and she starts to pick up on it a little bit as well. So those are important things. And I think those are great talking points for students, of course, in high school. And again, if you haven't already, you can pick up my book, The McKinnens. It is on Barnes & Nobles and Amazon. Also, be looking out for my next book, The ECN Theory, which is coming soon as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. McKinnen Mondays are coming every Monday. Sorry, the last one released on Tuesday. Had a little hiccup with getting the video there to you guys. But we're here. Ready to learn, ready to discuss. There are a lot of hidden topics in here I love to discuss with you guys. Maybe at some point I would love to do a live if I can get enough traffic. Definitely want to spread the word about this book. I think it's very, very important for the youth and even people of all ages to read it. It is very intriguing. Again, like, subscribe, leave a comment. You can search it up through Dr. Melvin Johnson. It'll be there. It'll be one of the first 1 or 2 links there. I thank you guys for all your support. Hope to hear from you guys soon. I'll talk to you guys later. Until the next Monday.